All right, let's dive right into the world of AI. You guys know I love to geek out about this stuff, and a lot of you have been asking for a deep dive, so here we go.
Sounds good to me.
Let's start with a simple question. When you hear the term AI, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Like, what image comes to mind?
Honestly, I think most people probably picture, robots taking over the world, like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, totally. But in reality, it's a lot less dramatic than that, right? AI is already a part of our lives in ways we might not even realize.
Absolutely. It's more about machines or systems that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence.
Exactly. So things like learning, problem solving, and decision making. But instead of these complex humanoid robots, we're actually talking about things like, Netflix recommendations, right?
Yeah. Great example. Think about it. Netflix seems to know exactly what you want to watch before you even do.
It's kind of freaky. How does it even work?
Well, their system analyzes your viewing history, what you watch, how long you watch it, what you rate, even what you skip. Then it compares your preferences with millions of other users to predict what you might enjoy.
Huh. So it's using all that data to figure me out. Okay, and what about Spotify? Is that the same idea?
Pretty similar. They curate playlists based on your listening habits, what genres you like, what artists you follow.
It really is like having a personal DJ in your pocket.
And these systems are constantly learning. The more you use them, the more data they have to work with, and the better their predictions become.
That's kind of creepy cool. But also, makes you think about all the data these companies are collecting.
Yeah, the data privacy aspect is a whole other discussion we could have. But for now, let's stick with how AI is making our lives easier.
Okay, deal. So besides entertainment, where else are we seeing AI having a real impact? I was reading about navigation apps like Google Maps. Tell me about that.
Oh, that's a fantastic example of AI at work. Those real-time traffic updates, the optimized routes, it's all powered by AI.
So when my phone tells me to take a detour to avoid a traffic jam, it's AI making that call.
Exactly. These systems are using real-time data from sensors, GPS signals, even user reports, to constantly monitor traffic flow and road conditions.
So it's like having a super smart traffic controller in the cloud, guiding everyone along the best possible routes. That's impressive.
And it's getting even more sophisticated. Some systems can predict traffic patterns based on historical data and events, helping you avoid congestion before it even forms.
Wow, so it's like AI is actually getting ahead of the problem. Amazing.
This is a prime example of how AI is making our lives easier and more efficient. But beyond our personal devices, it's also transforming entire industries.
Okay, let's talk about that. One area that I find particularly fascinating is healthcare.
Healthcare is ripe for disruption, and AI has the potential to make a profound impact.
In what ways?
Well, one example is in medical imaging. AI systems are being trained on massive data sets of medical images, allowing them to detect subtle patterns and anomalies that might be missed by the human eye.
So you're saying AI can help doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately?
Yes, in certain cases.
Yeah.
For example, in ophthalmology, AI systems have shown remarkable accuracy in detecting diabetic retinopathy from eye scans, often outperforming human doctors in early detection.
Oh, wow. Early detection is so crucial for effective treatment. And I've also heard about AI being used in robotic surgery. Is that a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. That's another exciting area. AI-assisted surgical systems can provide surgeons with enhanced precision, stability, and dexterity.
So they're able to perform complex procedures with greater accuracy and less invasiveness. That's incredible.
It's important to remember that AI is not meant to replace doctors, but to augment their capabilities, enabling them to provide better and more personalized care.
Okay, so AI as a partner in healthcare, not a replacement. Got it. Now, I know this might sound a little out there, but what about AI in finance?
Interesting. You might not think of finance as cutting edge, but it's actually at the forefront of AI adoption.
Really? Tell me more.
One area where AI is having a huge impact is fraud detection, protecting our money from those pesky scammers.
That's definitely something I can get behind. So how does that work?
AI algorithms can analyze massive volumes of financial data in real time, and they can detect patterns and anomalies that might indicate fraudulent activity.
Oh, so it's like having an AI detective on the lookout for anything suspicious. That's pretty reassuring.
It helps banks and financial institutions prevent fraud before it happens, safeguarding both businesses and consumers.
But I've also heard about AI being used in investment and trading, right? Isn't that kind of risky?
Well, picture this. An AI system that analyzes thousands of data points, stock prices, news sentiment, social media trends, all within milliseconds. predicting market shifts and executing trades at a speed no human could match. That's algorithmic trading.
So it's AI making those split-second investment decisions. That sounds both fascinating and a little scary, to be honest.
It definitely raises some interesting questions. But algorithmic trading is becoming more common in the financial markets, creating both opportunities and challenges for investors and regulators.
Wow, this is a lot to take in. It's amazing to see how AI is already impacting our lives in so many ways, and it feels like we've only just scratched the surface.
Absolutely. There's so much more to explore. From personalized education to smart cities to even creative arts, AI is changing the landscape of countless industries and aspects of our lives.
All right, well, this has been an incredible start to our deep dive into the world of AI.
Definitely. I'm excited to keep going.
I know I am too, and I bet our listeners are as well. Stay tuned as we continue our exploration in the next segment, where we'll delve a little deeper into some of the more complex aspects of AI.
Looking forward to it.
So we've seen how AI can make our lives easier, but I think it's time to talk about the potential downsides. I mean, are there any risks to all this AI stuff?
Right, it's not all sunshine and roses. While AI offers tons of opportunities, there are definitely challenges we need to think about.
Like what kind of challenges are we talking about?
Well, one big concern is job displacement. As AI systems become more sophisticated, they could replace some human workers.
Wait, so robots are going to steal our jobs? Is that what you're saying?
Not exactly robots, but, certain jobs are more vulnerable to automation, especially tasks that are repetitive or rule-based.
So like factory workers, maybe?
Yeah, manufacturing jobs are definitely at risk. But think about things like data entry, customer service, even some aspects of financial analysis.
Wow, so AI could impact a lot more jobs than I initially thought. But what happens to the people whose jobs get replaced?
That's the million-dollar question, right? There's no easy answer. It's a complex issue, and it means we need to adapt and learn new skills to stay relevant.
So instead of fearing AI, we should be learning how to work alongside it.
Exactly. It's about collaboration, not replacement. Think of it this way. AI can free us from the boring stuff, so we can focus on more creative, human-centered work.
That's a good point. But even if we learn new skills, couldn't AI still make things worse for people who are already struggling? What about people who don't have the same access to education and resources?
You're bringing up another critical point. We need to make sure the benefits of AI reach everyone, not just a select few.
So how do we do that?
Well, it requires investments in education, job training, and social safety nets to support those who might be displaced by automation.
So it's not just a technological issue, it's also about addressing social and economic inequality.
Absolutely. It's a multifaceted challenge, requiring collaboration between governments, businesses, educators, and individuals.
Now let's talk about another big concern with AI. What about bias? I've heard that AI systems can be biased, just like people.
You're right, that's a real risk. If AI is trained on biased data, it can perpetuate and even amplify those biases in its decision-making.
Can you give me an example? How would that even work?
Well, imagine an AI system being used to screen job applicants. Now, let's say the data it was trained on contains historical biases against, say, women or people of color.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, the system could unfairly disadvantage those applicants, even if that's not the intention.
That's scary. So how do we stop AI from becoming biased?
Awareness is the first step.
Yeah.
We need to be aware of the potential for bias and proactively address it. We also need to make sure the data used to train AI systems is diverse and representative.
So it's about carefully choosing the data we feed these systems.
And designing algorithms that can detect and mitigate bias.
So it's not just the tech itself, it's also about the human choices involved in designing and using it.
You got it. We need a strong ethical framework for AI development, making sure these systems are fair, transparent, and accountable.
This is making me realize that responsible AI development is crucial. It could be an amazing force for good, but only if we handle it carefully. What do you think?
I completely agree. It's like any powerful tool. It can be used for good or for bad. We need to ensure AI is used ethically to benefit humanity as a whole.
That's a great point. And speaking of benefiting humanity, where do you see all of this going in the long run?
Well, that's a big question. And it's hard to predict the future, right?
It really does feel like we're on the cusp of something huge, like AI is about to change everything. Where do you think this is all heading in the grand scheme of things?
It's tough to say for sure. I mean, AI is still relatively young. We've only just begun to tap into its potential.
That's true. So where do you see the biggest potential? Like, how could AI actually make the world a better place?
Well, there's so many possibilities. Let's take climate change, for example,
Okay, yeah, that's a big one.
right? AI could be instrumental in tackling that. It can help us analyze tons of data, to optimize energy consumption, develop new renewable sources, heck, maybe even predict and mitigate those extreme weather events.
So AI could actually help us fight climate change. That's pretty amazing.
It has that potential. And what about healthcare? Think about it. AI could completely revolutionize drug discovery, personalized medicine, disease prevention.
Yeah, it's like something out of a sci-fi movie almost. Imagine like AI helping us find cures for diseases that are incurable today.
It's mind-blowing. But as amazing as all that sounds, there are some big questions, right?
Definitely. It's like we're opening this Pandora's box of technological advancement. How do we make sure we're using it for good, not for, some dystopian future?
You hit the nail on the head. We need to think long and hard about the ethical implications of AI and how we develop and deploy it responsibly.
So are you saying it's not just about the technology itself, but also about our choices and how we use it?
Exactly. Technology is just a tool. It's up to us to make sure AI benefits humanity as a whole, not just a select few.
Well said. I've learned so much from this deep dive. I feel like I have a better grasp of the potential of AI, but also the responsibility that comes with it. So what advice would you give to our listeners who are just as fascinated by this stuff as we are?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say stay curious. Don't be afraid to explore, ask questions, and learn as much as you can.
I like that. And also, maybe a little healthy skepticism never hurts, right?
Right. Don't just take everything you hear at face value. Challenge assumptions,
Yeah.
Engage in these conversations about the role of AI, its impact on our lives.
Because the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we're all shaping together, right?
Absolutely. Through our choices and actions. So stay informed, stay engaged, and keep the conversation going.
Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of AI. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey and for sharing your insights. This has been incredibly eye-opening, and I'm sure our listeners feel the same way.
It's been a pleasure.
And for all of you listening out there, keep those questions coming. And remember, the future is what we make it, so let's make it a good one. Until next time.